the government of South Sudan decided to give them mia 200 لو بناتها ب100,000 بيدين 200 قالوا لأنه الأسعار زمان رخيص they were given 200 كان ب50 if it was 50 you are given 100 and you are taken and you are shown this is now your new plot and this is now your money and they went and settled here peacefully. Nakasongola deza kishilu da hata kaylikuli do bana kenisa become a. That was how this place was being vacated. Yawa built and Kambana and the concrete buildings. They were now demolished and the government built the advisors' quarters in the fence. So nobody was dislodged without compensation in cash and material, which is the piece of land. So this is the truth of the matter. Nunu has never had any plan to build a hotel there, nor Ankako of the State Secretariat. Never. This is a government plot, a parliament plot, as per these documents. Already engineers are coming. It is already contracted for people to start building. So Nunu has nothing to do with that piece of land. The parliament has decided to call for this press conference on one of the burning issues that has been circulating in the social media in regards to the dispute on the land of the parliament, which is just west of Asia, near where the Japanese constructed that water tank. A certain bishop claimed that that land belonged to him, and a certain opponent in the social media, I don't know whether some of you may know him or not, came up in that this piece of land was being taken by the Right Honorable Speaker Dr. Nunu and Anne Kako to build a 5-star hotel, which is completely a fabrication. So because of that, we feel we should let you people of the press to know the truth about that piece of land. And we have prepared a document which we will give each one of you to take a copy. But for the purpose of this press conference, kindly permit me to read it. The date, of course, is today, February 14, 2025. It's a press release. Response to misinformation on Parliament Plot Number 2, Block 1, First Class Parliament Quarter. Our attention has been drawn to a misleading video circulating on social media regarding Parliament Plot Number 2, First Class Parliament Quarter, أو High Parliament بالعربي. The Parliament categorically refutes the claims made in the video by a certain Mr. Onen in the video, and we urge the public to disregard the claims made by Mr. Onen as baseless and misleading. For clarity purposes, 1. The land in question was allocated in 1972 by Greater Equatoria leaders to host the regional government led by Maulana Abel Alier. وعشان يكون واضح لكم, to be more clear and specific, actually this place where we are now as the parliament and the ministry's quarters, in those days it was all bush. We used to have it as a hunting ground. محل بتسيب كان منين كده وانت ماشي على الجبل ما في اي زول هنا. فafter the Addis Ababa agreement, Maulana Abel put a request to the community here. قال يا اخوانا يا عون نجيبوا سلامنا وفي الجسمان ودي لنا فرصة قال كلنا كوينو حكومة بتاعنا في الجنوب. أنا ما عندي أرض. So I am asking you, the intellectuals, the elders of the Barina CCD water, كلا إنه لنا محل وكلي باريكو ذاته ما community عشان أنا بقدر أبدو الشغل تابنا مقر لحكومة بتاعتين regional government بتاع اتفاقية أديس أبابا. So the community, Bari here and the elders and the intellectuals, كله قادوا وهم خصصوا. They earmarked this area is starting من سنية بتاع 7 days, that roundabout of 7 days. You are coming this way, southwards, Ladi, Turu, and Hoshalimi da, they walk that, can in Adi, Masla Bita Turu. Yalla Baga driving this way eastwards, Mashar al Jai, Bena Barlaman Hassa, wa Gabor Bita Gari. Mashi Kida, Hatta, Al-Lafa, Al-Mashi le SPLM Secretariat. You are all young generation, you know the area better than I do. Min area that laadi fi Kololo, sinia bita Kololo de. Yalla mashi kida kaman, laadi wen? Sinia bita 7-day Adventist. Al area di kullu, the traditional leaders, elders, bita Bari, who are the landlords of this area, Barak an area that, and it was now handed to the then southern region government. إنه يا مولانا Abel, يا والأرض كلها سالنا قسم ده is now at your disposal for you as an company رئاسة بتاع حكومة بتاعك والأمام بتاعك حكومة بتاع الجنوب. So this was the area. There were other areas which were given, including the ministerial quarters, لكن ده ما موضوع بتاعنا الليل. الموضوع بتاعنا بس دير نتكلم في حدود بتاع منطقة ده. And that was done in 72. Most of the 2002 or 2005. This area was given لحكومة بتاع الجنوب السودان, the regional government. They started building the ministerial complex. لأنه بعدين قبل كان قاعد هناك في المديرية. لكن لما بناوا محل ده بقى رئاسة بتاع حكومة بتاع الجنوب. By then these buildings and those ministries were all built. Parliament there, Arasa Nehna Pogo there even was also built in this place, but the whole of the area was earmarked for the government. Andu Suar Bitao, and some of you who saw in this Kurunki, were Korada Talada for the parliament. Now, how did the story of Nakasongola came in to occupy this land? If you look at that, as I told you, Mahal da kan kulu lisa gaba haka ba lama lisa ma ba. For that there was the crisis in Zaire, there was the crisis in Uganda, and after the Addis Ababa agreement, Finida, there was an appeal and a call for all Southerners to come home. By then, we remember very well, it was late Clement Boro who was the Commissioner of Relief and Rehabilitation. Wukan maktab bitao في محل بتاع راديو جوبا الجديد ده كان يعمل relief and rehabilitation. And some of you maybe were not gone to come to survive. لكن يمكن بعض منكم فيه. So the relief agencies fought الاريا ده الناس الجاي من برا جنوبيين وفي refugees الجاي ذاتهم من كونغو they were accommodated here. وحفروا لهم donkey بتاع مويه. Relief from southern region relief agency كان بيجيبوا أكل ويدوموا نيني. المنظمات زمان الكبوا في جنوب السودان also came and were giving them food services here. That was where this late bishop came and joined the group. وبعدين as we are all religious people دائما لما الناس يلف في محل واحد مون قال يا اخوانا where do we pray. But they started praying. There were trees here مون كان بيصلوا فيه. After that مون بدا يبنى الكنيسة ده as a preaching center لمؤمنين اللي هناك. But there were two main denominations, the African Inland and then the Catholic Church. هم كله هناك في محل ده. They built and structure المحل ده. First one center was built. فكل ما ناس starting to grow. لا I am a Catholic, I am an ECS, I am this. يا قال لك هم بيننا من بتاعنا ترى. So that area was allotted to these people temporarily to be there so that they get relief. And the best example for you to take, even this crisis of southern administrators in the north and the northerners, hata alkan wodi fi camps, musu jago taninu wodi ni juabolo, tani wodi fi bilfa. Kalimon gani na for protection and safety. So this place was thought to be a good area for the government to be taken care of. So it was not allotted to any particular church. Now what happened? After that, when things started to progress, Galikelinas there, Kalaubara, Minini, and it was during the reign of Clement Wanikonga, who was the governor. Okay, people here were then relocated, including this bishop, Nakasongola. They were given a piece of land, and this one was in around 2011. Wadam Gita Art, Wadam Gurush al Asas Keliyabni. And this bishop moved even to the new area. Everybody moved. For whatever reason, this man decided to come back to this place. That is the origin of this area, which is a government property. Even this place north of the parliament, where our advisors are now accommodated. Fi kan nas work with Amdum, kan na work with Jalaba. Wazao mahal de baga plots lenas. Hatta there were people who built permanent buildings fi mahal. So after the CPA, أي زول كان بنا بيت بتوعي أول حاجة سجلوهم. They were registered. They were registered and they were requesting each bed banata henada, the house which you have built. Kallafa come and engineers were taken also to assess. Yani kan gutta bed bitagda ana banet masala as an example. $100,000 fil work it that. The government says okay, it's 100,000 or 50,000. This was by that time. Now we are going to give you a piece of land, and those people were removed and allocated along the custom Juba checkpoint. Saturday, and get off the custom there. Those people were removed from here. Ulo better come the 50,000. The government of South Sudan decided to give them mia, 200. Lo banata bi 100,000, they give 200. Galo لأنه الأسعار زمان رخيص, but they were given 200. Can be 50. If it was 50, you are given 100, and you are taken and you are shown this is now your new route, and this is now your money. And they went and settled here peacefully. Nakasongola deza kishilu da hata kaylikuli do bana kunisa bitomu kofini. That was how this place was being vacated. Yawa built and bana ina the concrete buildings. They were now demolished, and the government built the advisors' quarters in the fence. So nobody was dislodged without compensation in cash and material, which is the piece of land. The second point I want to talk about is the IDPs and refugees who had settled on the land, both South Sudanese and Congolese origin, while the Congolese and the South Sudanese pastor of Nakasongola were compensated in cash and kind to build their churches. This process was overseen by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Daniel Awet Akot here. لما Central Equatoria وداهم الجتا بتاع البرلمان هنا كانت إشراف بتاع دانيال أويت gave them the money in the way those people inside there were compensated. So he took his money, he went and built his church in Lukulili, and later on, after he was settled there, he decided for whatever reason, anyway, because he is dead, always talk good of your dead ones, because his intentions he cannot now defend it. But why he came back, Allahu Ya'lam. Compensated in cash and kind to build their churches. This process was overseen by the then Deputy Speaker, Honorable Daniel Awet Akot, and this was in 2011. Hence, the process of reclaiming the land dated back to time of former Speaker, Honorable Anthony Dino Makani, because he wanted to clear the land for building. عشان يكون واضح برضو لكم, this issue of this land has not started during the time of Right Honorable Nunu Kumba. The process of starting of building this area, what I showed you, was during the time of Nunu Maka. And what did they do? They sent people to clean the land for this project to be started. And that was the beginning of the crisis. Now, there were two children of this late bishop. When this problem started very seriously, There were correspondences with judiciary, with the court, with the attorney general, and at the end, the eviction order was issued by the Ministry of Justice and executed by the Ministry of Interior because Parliament has a plan to build a new building for the Parliament. Lamandel Asaro إنه هم عايزين يطلعوا first كان في قضية رفعت. There was a case raised over this issue of the land, and the late Bishop himself opened the case. People went to court. The Parliament presented the master plan of this area, which was allotted to the then southern government. Makurumpiat bitom kullu mahaja bitom. Okay, Amutran. Ita gutta de mahal bitak. Can you show the court ممكن تورينا مستندات بتاعك اللي انت بتملك بيه الأرضية ده. He said he had no document. He has been dodged by Clement and the coming governors. Nobody even cared to give him land ownership. That was his statement in court, and it was recorded. Based on that argument, the court dismissed the case and ruled it in favor of the government of South Sudan and the Parliament in particular, based on the original allocation of the land to the government of South Sudan and this very particular plot for the Parliament. That was the ruling of the court. You might have heard in this social media text that the East African Community Court. And for your interest actually to know and understand, even that court of East African Community that it's elementary for dawa, the matter of the first thing they will ask you, الدولة بتاعكم عملت شنو? Why didn't you raise your case enough? And what had been the verdict? But because Mohammed Bito Kaman Shatter, he knew his case was seen here and was ruled not in his favor because he did not have document. So definitely his case there is not going to succeed. Because Al-Muhammad hina bitat Akuma or bitat Barlaman, he will have nothing to do but take the original document of allotting the land to the Parliament. This is a point you should understand in regards to the so-called case raised in the East African Community case. Number 3, the eviction order was issued by the Ministry of Justice and executed by the Ministry of Interior because Parliament has a plan to build a new building for the Parliament of South Sudan. And this is what I showed you, which every one of you. So it is going to be a modern Parliament, almost 7 stairs up with the parking lot at the base down. It's going to be a Parliament built on the international standard. What I need to emphasize here is that the issue of this plot should not be personalized. Nunu has nothing to do with it. Ankapo is the secretary of SPLM in Central Equatoria, has nothing to do with it. Because none of them actually had a document to show that the plot belongs to any one of them. This is the plot of the Parliament and this is the plan of the Parliament to build their assembly. The fourth point, after Nakasongola was resettled in Lukululi, remember I told you earlier that they were given the land and they were paid money to go and build. resettled in Lukulili, a church structure was provided in the area. However, in 2021, the pastor attempted to reclaim the parliament land, leading to legal and security issues. In 2024, resistance to evict escalated into violence, resulting into unfortunate casualties, including a police officer and 2 civilians. God rest their souls in peace, with 3 others injured. Hence, the casualties and the injured were caused by the children of the late Bishop Jambo, who assaulted and shot at the law enforcement agencies. When the verdict was passed by judiciary and given to the Interior to execute, so this man and his children, they started to be resistant. But then these 2 children of the bishop, they were also members in the organized forces. So they were the ones who assaulted the organized forces. And it anno sila. Shala tamani sila kanzol jale taladi pibeta. Shala kanta baka nyongoro zolfu. You will get up to defend yourself. So that was what brought the exchange of fire, which led the Nasal, the one is the Kumina, were killed, assaulted and shot at the law enforcement agencies. Al-Awlad Bitaya Badezat al-Mukrana al-Madda, they were the one who shot at the organized forces. And these people had to respond. Ya Jabu Kasara Hata Masha Qatar Madinin Sakit Malik. The allegation, therefore, the point number 5 is that the allegations against the Right Honorable Speaker Nunu Kumba are entirely fabricated and should be dismissed as null and void. We call on the public to rely on verified information and facts and not be misled by misinformation. In conclusion, the issue of parliament land should not be personalized and blamed on current speaker as it is a public property. And look at the muhim dunalekun fuokit bita makana yawa al-kalam de bada Anton Lilo makana when he was the speaker cleaning and so on wajan bita kuma gero abira. It is only by coincidence that when the current speaker, Right Honorable Dr. Nunu Kumba, became the speaker of the parliament, this is where the Minister of Justice now issued the order to the law enforcing agencies to start the eviction. There is land grabbing now. If you grab my land, I go to court. And if the court rules in my favor that it is you who does not have documents and took my plot, you'll be ordered to remove your structure. If you refuse, you'll be given an ultimatum that may be within 1 month or so, please vacate the plot of Oliver Mari. If that month expires and nothing happens, I still go back to the court. Ya Maulana da karar bitamaka. Ule hasa azolda matala min gita. Min al-gita. then that is the time where an eviction order will be issued. And once an eviction order is issued, it has to be implemented. So it so happened that the eviction order issued by the judiciary and implemented by the law enforcement agencies came during the time of the current Speaker of the Parliament, Dr. Nunu Kumba. So this is the truth of the matter. Nunu has never had any plan to build a hotel there, nor Ankako of the State Secretariat. Never. This is a government plot, a parliament plot, as per these documents. Already engineers are coming. It is already contracted for people to start building. So Nunu has nothing to do with that piece of land. And for your reference, I think after listening to your questions, which I believe nobody wants to ask, I will give you copies of this, not yet. But let me listen to your questions first, if there is anybody who wants to ask. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll give you a chance, don't worry. But you are coming with one cup of tea. What about the rest?